Okay, found a new program, so we'll see how this goes. I don't know. Okay, so where were we? We were in the function. We were in the present. Oh, forgot a letter. Present indicative. And we just did present indicative active, but now we're going to be in a different voice. We're in the middle voice. Okay, so we're going to start. Draw our thing. Chart here. Chart never changes. It's always the same. Singular, plural, and then we've got our stem lu, if you remember from the last video, on the present indicative active. It's the same stem. We're just going to be working with this one word because it kind of helps us illustrate how the word changes in the different moods. Okay, so again, we have our same kind of conjugation paradigm chart, whatever you want to call it, and it's going to demonstrate the endings. Okay, that's what we do with this. So in the active mood, we had luo, luase, and lua, and then so that was I, you, he, she, it, looses. Now we had we, y'all, or they loose. So we had omen, ete, and si, with sometimes the removable new. So that was I loose, you loose, he, she looses, we loose, you loose, they loose. So now what if, in Greek is kind of cool like this, what if we wanted to say, what if we wanted to add a sense of, in English we would just add more words, but Greek is kind of cool where you can just change the ending and it will change what the word means in many ways. So now we're going to go into the middle, the middle voice of a word. And a middle voice, which we don't have in English, means it has a sense of for one's own benefit. Okay, so our stem here, lu, means loose or too loose. Luo meant I loose. Now, what if we wanted to say I loose for myself? I know it's kind of a strange it's a strange way of saying it in English. I loose, but I don't just loose. I loose for myself. I did it for me. Did it for me. I didn't just loose. I did it for my own benefit. So it's kind of a cool. It's a cool voice that in English is a little foreign. We would just say, "I did it for me. I opened the door for myself." But in Greek, because it's so inflected, you could just add these different endings, and it would indicate that you were doing something on your own for your own benefit. So that first person singular, I loose, and let's say we want to say I don't just loose, I loose for myself. Okay, I loose the knot, right? Loosing, right? We're like untying something, making something come apart. I loose for myself. So I would say the stemming in the first person singular is o my. Lu my. See, lu my doesn't just mean I loose, it means I loose, but I did it for my own benefit. I did it for myself. For me. I did it for me. Okay? So then, instead of, right, we had ace in the present active mood, or voice rather, the active voice. Now we're doing it in the middle. So it changes to an eta with a iota subscript. So over here we had ace, okay? Let me try to explain this just a little bit better. So I could go into it a little bit and let you know that there's reasons for all, like there's almost like a mathematical or an engineering reason why there are all these different stems. In the present indicative tense, there's a paradigm called the Oz paradigm, is what kind of the mnemonic device to remember it. And it's when you add, like in the first singular, you're going to add an O or an omicron to the stem lu. Okay, so technically this O is not really part of the ending. It's actually a connecting vowel to the ending my. So you have the stem, you have the connecting vowel, and then you have the stem, lu o my. So the whole paradigm of the connecting vowel is O, E, E, O, E, O. I don't know how you remember it. So like O, E, E, O, E, O. Okay? Kind of Oz, like the guards outside of the castle or whatever. So that's how you remember that. These are connecting vowels. But obviously it's not that simple just to remember these. Now it's beneficial to remember them. But because over time languages change and they evolve, right? You don't see the endings as they are. You don't see those connecting vowels, rather. You don't see the connecting vowels as they are because they have what's called they've elided over time. Okay? So to get really complicated, to go more advanced, yeah, just gonna go over the middle voice, but now we're gonna go way into it. Okay? Well, I can leave that as okay. So in the beginning, in the active voice, instead of having lu o, before that, earlier Greek language, people would have said, Greek speakers rather, because I can use English, would have said lu o mi. Okay? Oops, there's no dot. It makes the I sound, but I always write it as an I because I'm an English speaker. Okay, so they would have said lu o mi. Okay, but as time went on, the mu here, the M, kind of went away, and then all of a sudden you got this iota or omicron iota. Okay, and the iota doesn't like to hang out at the end of a sentence typically. In the last video I talked about how there's usually a movable nu that will slip in there to prevent two vowels running into each other. Let me clean that up. So that iota does not want to hang out there. So what it did was just it left. It disappeared. From ooh man, undo. Oh man, redo. Oh man. Okay, so instead of lu o mi, the mu left. The iota moves over next to the omicron, but it doesn't want to be there. So instead of just hanging out as a omicron iota, it just lengthens into an omega. So the omicron is still in the paradigm in the present indicative active, Okay, it has just lengthened into an omega. So it used to be me, but these two went away, and this omicron, which makes an O sound, just went to a hard O sound. Lu-o, not lu-uh. Okay? So it's still there. It's just turned into something else. So now in the middle voice, going back to our what we're supposed to be talking about, in the middle voice, you still see it there. There it is. Okay? Lu-o. And instead of me, it's lu-o-my. Lu-o-m-a-e. So again, this is a diphthong, alpha iota, which is going to make the sound I, as in English. In English, we call it isle, right? You would pronounce this with a hard I, isle. So, same thing here. Lu-o-my. This means I loose for myself, for my own benefit. So then, down here, right, it was O-E-E. So the E, originally, in the very beginning, was there. Oh yeah, so if you're over here in the, I should have done this in the last video, but we're going regressing here. It originally would have been, okay, Lu-e-si. But again, Yoda doesn't want to hang out all on its own on the end. So what happened? Well, this sigma right here is going to kind of just get out of the way, just like our last example with the mu dropped out. So did the sigma. This Yoda is going to head back over this way, okay? And then the sigma is going to pop back up as a final sigma, which looks like a 5 on the end. So sigma, when it's on the end, okay, instead of looking like this O with a top hat with a trucker hat, it turns into it's called a final sigma. It looks like a weird S or a 5 almost on the end. So that's the present indicative active, but we're trying to learn the middle voice. So I'm trying to just prove that the E is still there all along. But because here in the middle voice, it turns into an eta with a iota subscript. The iotas went subscript. So originally, a native Koine Greek speaker would have said lu, psi, lu psi. But you know, here in the first person, I don't know, it didn't want to hang out. Sigma dropped out. So now all of a sudden, you know, as the language progressed, you get this weird epsilon alpha iota, which is just really weird. I mean, it's out there, but you just don't see it. Uh-oh. What did I do? Oh, there we go. You know, you just don't see it. So what happened is it lengthened real hard. The E and the epsilon and the alpha lengthened into it's called an eta. It's a hard A. But then you have this you have eta iota, which again the iota doesn't really want to hang out in the back. So what happened was, instead of having eta iota, the iota just goes, you know what, guys, I'm just going to hang out down here. So now you have lu a with a iota that's in the subscript. It's kind of like hanging out down there. Okay, so yeah. So third person. So this is I loose for myself. This is you loose for yourself. now you've got he, she, or it looses for himself, herself, or itself. Okay? So again, we're in that middle voice. We're talking about for your own benefit. So, again, we've got the O. We've got the E is hiding in there even though you can't see it. So O, E, E. We've got another E, or an epsilon, really. And tie. Lu, e, tie. Okay, lu, e, tie. Oop, it's accented right there. This one's accented right there. Not that you need to remember the accents right this second. They are important, just not overly so. Right this minute, especially. So lu, e, tie. This would be he, she, or it looses for himself, herself, or itself. Now we need to go into the plurals. We got we, y'all, and they. Okay? Alright. So we've got our connecting vowel of O. Then it goes, the ending is may, tha. That's a theta. That weird oval with a line through it is a theta, which makes the th sound like thumb. So lu, me, tha. Lu, me, tha. Okay? So that is we loose for ourselves. And moving into the second person plural, right here, we got lu, got our connecting vowel, e, and sigma, theta, epsilon. So pronouncing this would be lu, s, the, Louis the. Okay? Louis the, and that is y'all be loosing for yourself. Not be loosing, but y'all loosing for yourself. It's right now, it's active indicative, or I'm sorry, present indicative. It's happening right now. You all loose for yourself now. For yourself. For your benefit. For y'all's benefit. Y'all loose for y'all's benefit. Which is a crazy thing to say in English, but that's what it's imparting. It's imparting, it's plural in the second person, and it might be awkward to say, but it imparts that meaning. It's not easy to translate into English, I don't think. I guess you, if you're pointing at a crowd and you're saying you loose for yourselves, that makes more sense. But and that's probably how you translate it to be more fluid. But continuing on. Now we're in the third person plural. That's they. You got your stem lu. You got your connecting vowel omicron, and the end here is natai. So nu, tau, alpha, iota. And so you would pronounce this luon tai. Luon tai. And that is they loose for themselves. And so that is a quick rundown of the present indicative middle of our word lu. And a little bit of background on the connecting vowels and why you don't always see them, such as in that second singular, where did the epsilon go, which should be in the middle? It's gone because it couldn't hang out over time. It did not continue. It would have been Louis-I, and native speakers just kind of dropped out the sigma. They saw the epsilon, the alpha, iota, diphthong come together, and they're like, no, that doesn't work. Let's not do that. Let's lengthen it to an eta, and the iota's on the end, but we don't like that. So when you're writing it, it just kind of, it's there. It's just hiding out beneath in subscript. So there you go. There's the middle voice.